Michael, one of the difficulties in a trial like this with the prosecution is that you don't want to make another trial where the victim, the shooting victim in this case, is on trial as well. Are you surprised that they did not, as far as the defense, try to bring in these ex-spouses, don't know their status, don't know what their availability would have been, but the judge also has to make sure this isn't a trial within a trial?
If we recall, there was a little debate between both attorneys and the judge, which was remarkable while the state was still had their case. When the judge had ruled that the statement could only come in a limited capacity about his prior convictions, and then the defense attorney stood up and said, but obviously when she testifies, if she testifies, she can talk about it. And the judge said no. And the attorney said, wait, so if she testifies, she cannot say that she knew that he was charged with battery of a prior spouse? And the judge said yes. And then as the judge said that, she knew the mistake and she realized, oh, wait a minute, this is too much. Of course you can. And then she said, I'm going to reserve ruling for that time. That to me shows that if they tried to bring in the prior spouses, I don't know if the judge would have allowed that, because you barely allowed her to testify, which would have been appealable error, by the way, if the judge did not let her to get on the stand and say, I knew at the time when I shot him that he had all these prior, he had this baggage, and this baggage caused me to be in fear for my life and caused me to feel that, he'd do the same thing to me, and he was kind of trying to threaten me. So at the end of the day, this case takes me back to law school. If only they had projector screen in our law school classes and they played a case like this. This case has everything. It has everything. You have the former law enforcement officer who's trained, who was wearing a vest, who at the time, which is why the state of Florida came at her with a murder 1 charge, not a murder 2. But at the same time, hearing her testimony and it's gripping, they've got the perfect victim, the defense do. I mean, they've got a victim who is just a monster, right? So you've got this monster married to this well-trained, seasoned, basically, RoboCop, and they're together and they have kids, and she's rubbing his feet to de-escalate him. But he didn't get off the couch, and he was killed while he was laying down. Wow. You can teach an entire law school class from this case alone. I am so riveted by this, and it's just, it's crazy how law school-y this is. It doesn't cut either way, clearly. It's going to be a tough job for this jury. They're going to be in there like roosters knocking heads.